Greetings from the Achimota Retail Center. I'm sitting here with my panel in front of the Sweet Roses Chinese restaurant. Ni hao. Welcome to the Solutions Review Show. Here, we fix things. And let me just go around my panel and find out exactly what's new with them. They're all returnees, and my main man is with me on my left. But I'll start with the lady. Constance, good to have you back.
Yeah, great to be back too. Thank you for the opportunity.
Pleasure. What's new at the Register General's Department?
Okay, at the Registrar General's Department, we continuously try to make the registration process very convenient for our clients. So this week, we've introduced the one-stop shop for business registration, where people can obtain their tax identification number, their SNET numbers, plus their registration certificates, all at the central point, which is the Registrar General's office in Accra.
You're fixing all things registration for us.
Yes, sir.
Good job. Now to a man whose name is I really love. It's Prosper from MTN. Prosper, good to have you back.
Hi, good to have you back.
Yeah, what are you fixing at MTN? What's new?
MTN, it's a big family. And as usual, we always want to be on top of whatever happens in this world. We currently will be coming out with a new product, My Own Pension. It's to actually help the informal sector, people to be able to contribute towards their own retirement. Yeah, so it's a great one. Yeah.
Sounds good. You'll be prospering right through your retirement. And last but not the least, my main man, Echo, is here with me. And all of us.
Thank you, Kafi.
Yeah, tell us what's happening. What's new at the help station?
Well, thank you, Kafi. As you know, my name is Echo Mensah. I'm the manager for the Premium Bank Help Station and also the CEO of the African Network of Entrepreneurs. We're really excited because we are introducing what we call the Help Station Business Clubs, which is categorizing various businesses into different cohorts. Depending on their turnovers, because this is a way of us monitoring the effect of the solutions and all the things that we are doing to help businesses. And for us, if your business is doing well, it should reflect in your accounts. You know, so for instance, if you are making 1,000 to 10,000 in a year, we put you in a standard membership. And our aim is to help you move beyond that. So the solutions we give you are tailor-made and focused on helping you to increase your turnover. And then we categorize, so from 1,000 to 10,000, from 10,001 to about 100,000, from 100,001 to about 500,000, and all the way to 1 million and above. So that we'll be able to, you know, put them in segments where we can really help them. And that's what we're doing in the Help Station now.
Great. This show is going to be really exciting. I want you to just plug in with us. Let us know exactly what's on your mind. Share, comment, like, and let's get these comments that you have to us so we know exactly what you're thinking about the Solutions Review Show. And now to this week's episode of the show. I saw the funky greenhouse farmer, and I also saw the mother-in-law, daughter-in-law dynamic. Let's go around the table. What else was exciting, or what can you elaborate on those two themes? Constance.
Well, the issue of the greenhouse advantage or the greenhouse technology that I saw being introduced, I think it's pretty exciting because with that technology, people will just have to make use of even the little land space available, even in their backyard. So it's something that it can catch on well with Ghanaians. We can all adopt it and then be able to grow certain things that we can just even use for our own domestic consumption other than even going to the marketplace.
And that scene really excited me. I don't normally think of greenhouse and Ghana in the same sentence. So it was good to know that that kind of technology is being used by people in the agricultural sector to develop the agri-businesses. Prosper, what were your highlights in today's episode?
Basically to talk about the mother-in-law bit. I mean, she was a bit diplomatic. And I like the way she went about it. Basically telling the house help she needs to be within some confines, and she needs to know where she belongs, her space. It was not on a very good note. Other than that, look, you feel so demoralized. Already people have deceptions for such a noble job. Growing up, I mean, I'm sure one or two, we had house helps in our houses just to make sure that things were moving on when our parents were absent. So making sure she still fit within where she was, and how it was done diplomatically, it was okay.
Eko, let's explore a little bit that theme of how she got the house help to change her clothing, because dress code is important in the corporate world and not just for house helps.
Yes.
Can you give me some thoughts on that?
Well, I was excited about the education on the need for a dress code, but I was disappointed at the dress that she was wearing after the orientation. Because really, I'm thinking that you would want to move someone from how she was looking to a more professional, look. Not just, because see, for me, I think that domestic workers, or the whole domestic workers profession, is something that we need to look into upgrading. And for me, the way they upgraded the whole gatesman, watchman profession into security, where now it's a big business for a lot of people, I'm thinking that we can easily do that for even the domestic, because a lot of millennials, upwardly mobile professionals need these domestic workers. And SS graduates, university graduates stay home for years and they say they are unemployed. But these are things that they can easily do for an hour or two, or even a day, and get money. But if you put them in that perspective where they look like, some illiterates just because they are coming to work with you or help you, it's not so exciting. So for me, the entrepreneurial side of it was not really, paid attention to. If she was probably put into something very smart, some very smart dress, maybe trousers or some shirts or something. But then looking like that, really, it
was a no-no for you.
It was a no-no.
But I just want to pick up on what you said about a possible opportunity in developing the whole domestic work into something like a business.
Kafi, I'll share something with you. I mean, I'm a young man that has done quite a number of businesses. And I used to have a business called Private Line. And Private Line was mainly enhancing the domestic workers profession. And we put 3 banners. Within 2 days, we got 56 calls. Within a week, we had over 150 requests for house helps. And we couldn't even supply it because, first of all, the people in the urban areas would not want to do this job. And then we had to go all the way to the villages to bring people. And it was actually, like child trafficking or human trafficking, because you can't just migrate that number of people. And then we wanted to train them, take them through a process where they have, some sort of a training, they do their tests and everything. And then we actually put the way they do the HR, so you monitor them, you give them KPIs, and then you actually take them. And it was a good business. But the challenge is a lot of people look down on that profession, because typically we know house helps as illiterates, they bring them from the village, and it wasn't epitomized well in this series as well. But it's a good business. The market is there. It's mostly the supply that we are not able to get, but then the market is really there. And anybody that wants to go into domestic workers projects or business will definitely make money if they're able to supply, train them, properly costume them, and then place and monitor them. They will make a lot of money.
All right, and while you are plugging in, check out that quote that talks about that if you want to be a street sweeper, whatever you're doing, be the best, so that people will acknowledge that, look, there goes somebody who did his job to the best of his ability. And what you wear reflects on what you do. So it's not just a matter of house helps not dressing too sexily, but look at the authority figures, the police, the soldiers. You respect them because of how they carry themselves. So that point that was made about the way the house help dressed, I think was a critical one. Don't you think so, Constance?
I do, because even in public relations practice, the tagline is image is everything. So in her quest to do the job, her appearance, she took into consideration how she appeared. Because sometimes even when you look at who is making the food or preparing it or even serving it, the person's appearance can even put you off. The food may be good, but what is the outward appearance, the look of the person even presenting it? It may be nice until you taste it. But even when it is done by somebody who is so professional and so properly dressed, even if it is bad, you would just, you admire the person's outward appearance before even getting to taste the food and realize that, oh, this food is so salty or pepperish. So the issue of outward appearance or image, I think is very good and it's very important. And as a nation, I think that we really have to cultivate the culture of dress code, even in whatever, whether in the informal sector or even in the formal sector.
Let's talk about the amas of the world, professional women who, by nature of their careers, will have to have house helps supporting them at home. And Amma's mother-in-law spoke to the house help and reminded of how important her work would be. I mean, looking at that dynamic that played out in the house, what do you have to say about it? The inevitability of house helps actually being part of your household as a professional person, especially women.
Yes, I admire the mother-in-law first trying to find out from the young lady what her aspirations are, and so she doesn't just end up dreaming that being a house help, she will do it for the rest of her life. So I like that bit of trying to find out a bit more about her. But then in the long run, how she made her appear, okay, I totally disapprove of it, because if you really want to help her, I think that her help rather turned out to be negative for me.
Okay, you're watching the Solutions Review Show. Here, we fix things, and we also urge you to plug into this show, share, comment, like, let us know what's on your mind. You know, everything's out there. Just go do it and keep us informed of exactly what's bubbling in your mind. Let's focus a little bit on the greenhouse farmer, Josephine. Very interesting that she's a woman and she's doing great things with this interesting technology that probably needs a little more exploring.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when I saw her, I called her the Slate Queen farmer, because she didn't look like the typical farmer that we know, you know,
on holiday.
In the boots and the cutlass and all those things. And I like that. I like that perception, because with my work, even with Help Station, we've come across a lot of women that are actually going into agribusiness, not just agriculture, but the whole value chain. And then greenhouse is something that is a technology that even in advanced countries where they don't have land, you know, they are able to have greenhouses in story buildings. When you go to Singapore, when you go to Malaysia, they have greenhouses in story buildings, you know, and they don't have any lands, but they build, I mean, they grow their own foods and everything, even to export. And the greenhouse technology is something that you can easily start with very little investment. As you saw in the series, they were planting in buckets, you know, and buckets is not expensive. When you have small farm, even in front of your house or at the back of your house or anywhere, you can just put a greenhouse there, and then you would have very organic produce coming out of it. And definitely, you would definitely have ready markets for it as well, because now in this area where everything is genetically modified, greenhouse promises organic produce.
So you can sell at a premium.
You can sell at a premium. And that's why you realize that when Kofi reviewed her numbers, the numbers were good. And she could actually pay back a loan in less than a year. You know, and that's the advantage of greenhouse. You can actually determine how well the crops will grow, because you control the temperature, you control everything, that the nutrients and everything that the plants need. And you can measure how profitable it would be over a period of time before it even grows. You know, it's not like the normal traditional farming where it's exposed to the weather. So if the weather is good, you get good produce. If the weather is not good, you get bad harvest. But the greenhouse, you can actually
have your microclimate.
So whether it's good or bad, you set the climate and you're able to make profits from the farming.
It sounds like a win-win deal, and I
think
it
is a win-win deal.
People need to explore this option a bit more. Prosper, let's stay on the greenhouse theme a little bit more. Let's talk about the planning aspect of this kind of business and how important it is to make this business grow.
Well, it's a very good innovative area, and looking at it, you can actually plan and know your capital market as to the number of people who require the produce from your green market. Now, beyond that, if it comes to selling it, it's very easy with a measure of technology now. Look, develop a website. This is what you have. You're able to categorize all the various segmentation of goods you have on your website. Payment will be as easy as it is. People go there, just do the bit of whatever they want to buy, select into a basket. You have a rider, a dispatch rider. You select the items, even right from the farm, is dispatched to your home. So the market is big. Look at the number of restaurants and hotels we have. Look, just go there, create the avenue, talk to them, tell them this is what you have. Okay, a lot of people would enjoy those goodies from the greenhouse. And it's one of the key areas that I am beginning to see a lot of people who are saying that, look, youth who are out of school, saying we don't have jobs and all that. You can team up, you can come together, be able to put your heads together. People have vast land behind their houses where you can actually tap into. You don't need to go and rent something, a piece of land behind the regions around Ikuapem, or go to the Volta region and say you're looking for 100 acres and all that. You just need a space behind your house. You just need a play field where you can actually be able to put up the entire setup and be able to control the climate within what you want, just like a corset. So it's one of the key areas that I think that people should begin to to tap into.
And of course, with payments, I'm sure mobile money will come in there.
Oh yeah,
quite
mobile
nicely.
money will just be the best avenue to actually pay.
All right. Thanks very much, Prosper. Now, Constance, imagine I was the latest greenhouse farmer in town, and I came to the Registrar General to do my one-stop shop registration. What would be the greatest advantage to me?
Well, Josephine, the farmer, the greenhouse farmer, the one-stop shop will afford her all the convenience that she will require because she's a highly sophisticated farmer. So at the Registrar General's department, she will get her certificate of registration. She will also get a tax identification number, and then she will also get initial SNIT registration number for her business because she has one person as a worker. So she can just do that all at a central point without moving out of our premises to go to GRA and go to SNIT and then come back to Registrar General. So we create that convenience and seamless registration process for Josephine, the farmer.
And how long would that process take? It's a one-stop shop, but is it a week, a month?
All within a day, depending on the registration. If it's a limited liability she wants to register, she will get everything within 72 hours.
Fantastic. Echo, I just want us to touch on the issue of farm services, extension services. You know, Kofi was recommending farm radios, network of community extension services. And normally you think of extension services and it's like one man going to visit some farmer in Somanya and talking under his mango tree. This is quite sophisticated. It's a network. There's technology here. Tell me about what you know about that.
I like it because one of the reasons why a lot of us don't go into agriculture or farming is, first of all, our perception. Secondly, our lack of knowledge and information about how the industry is, how lucrative it is, and then the level of support that is available for the industry. And I was excited to hear Kofi mention the farm radio because now almost everybody has a phone, you know, and almost every phone has a radio, even the ones that are not smartphones, you know, and for an agri extension officer to move from one farm to the other definitely might be difficult. It might never even reach your farm, but everybody has a radio. And if the farm radio is actually effective in their work and providing farmers with information, there are some things that they can easily do even without the extension officers physically visiting the farm. And I'm excited about it. Access to information is one of the major challenges of most entrepreneurs, not even just agriculture, but most of it. They don't know what exists, what support exists, what kind of innovations there are, and how they can tap into these things. So something like that, I think, is very, very helpful. Very,
so like we say here all the time that we should get you to plug in.
Exactly.
Farmers should be plugging into farm radio.
And this is something that exists.
Yeah.
It's not just for screen. Farm radio exists. And other organizations like the ISOCOs and all that, they are providing very authentic information, both for the farmer and the consumer and even the investor. And even we as bankers, there are a lot of information that we get that help us in deciding which sectors to go into and how to provide the necessary support for some of these agriculture and agribusiness entrepreneurs.
Thanks very much, Jacob. So hey, if you're a farmer, whether you're doing greenhouse or not, you just want to Google farm radio and check out the extension service. You can actually plug in this. It's amazing how a 30-minute show like this one can bring out so many themes that we can discuss. But that's what happens on the Solutions Review show. Here, we fix things. We'll go around the table right now and get concluding remarks from my panel. I'll start with the prosperous man from MTN.
Well, today's episode in relation to the greenhouse farm, it's been really exciting. Basically, for where I come from, which has to do with the service industry, talking about MTN, I would say that all those in the greenhouse farming industry should take advantage, come up to MTN. We have data solution. We can actually get them tablets where they can actually have all the details they need, be able to do their own research. Look, Kafi, in today's world, the farmer can be able to tell what the weather is going to be like just through any of the devices they have with the internet, data. And we have that. When it comes to payment, these farmers can actually have links with all the people on the market who will take in these goods and just pay through MTN mobile money. So they should all come to MTN. We have the payment solution. We'll set them up, and they don't need to go out there and be taking out money and all that. People will just come, they'll dispatch the goods to them, and they receive all the money through MTN mobile money. Voila.
Voila. Thank you very much, Prosper. Okay, and so to wrap up, let us not forget that small, maybe, but very important matter of Ama and the pregnancy and the baby and that shock at the end of the episode. Constance, what's your thought on what's going on with Ama?
I was heartbroken with the last bit of it, because after all the excitement with mother-in-law now pampering her all over, like there seemed to have been harmony at home because of the pregnancy, and how it all just ended up, it's really disheartening and heartbroken. I just really wish that, I mean, it really didn't happen and that baby could have just survived, and we could have seen how the whole family, the excitement would have just caught on, and how it would have been help with the business. Now that this thing has happened, I don't know how the home is going to turn out. If there's no peace and harmony in the home, it will certainly affect the work outputs that the husband and the wife are going to have.
Echo.
Well, you know, this is one of the major challenges for a lot of women entrepreneurs, you know, having to raise a family and then build a business as well. But I would equate what is happening to business, where people prematurely talk about their big ideas without necessarily taking time to build a foundation for those big ideas to grow. You know, Kofi was going about announcing that he's a proud father and all that.
Where there was no evidence.
Where there was no,
She was pregnant.
you know, because it was, yes, but it was just the beginning. It's like when you have an idea and then you haven't taken time to build all the fundamentals, you know, to ensure that the idea is going to grow.
You have been waiting for that moment.
Yeah, but then it's like that. A lot of people get overly excited and passionate about the ideas and go around talking about it. And before you realize, the idea has collapsed.
It's not your fault.
And they are, you know, but being human, I realize that, I mean, first-time pregnancy is very difficult for a lot of people. And sometimes you need to relax, because going back to work, but when you work for yourself, it's very difficult to say you're going to take a whole year off or you're going to take a whole 9 months off. It's heartbreaking, but we don't know for sure if she's actually lost the baby. It could be that maybe she's just bleeding. It happens. So let's just hope she hasn't lost the baby.
So you're hoping against hope?
Yeah,
and you're seeing parallels with business?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't go announcing when you just had an idea, because it's still very premature.
Prosper.
Well, I was also heartbroken. I mean, it's the desire of every parent, or I mean, every married young man or woman to have a baby, and having to see this scene, I mean, it just threw me off. But for me, I think that it's one of the key challenges that in today's corporate world, a lot of women are actually facing. I mean, having to combine work and their family life. The kind of stress they go through, the stress balance, is one of the key things that we all will need to look at, especially when a woman is pregnant. There are so many factors that play within their body. I'm not a doctor though, but from the little biology and other things that we did, a lot of chemistry reactions that are happening in there. So it's one of the things that every woman needs to kind of find a balance to. Make sure you go to the doctor, take time to make sure you run a thorough test, and know what the balances are, what checks or what you need not to stress yourself about. I mean, I'm sure she may have had other things that if she could have gone to the doctor, she would have known what exactly it is. But let's pray that the baby keeps alive. You know?
It's alive. It's alive.
Will Ama lose the baby? Well, you have to wait and find out later on The Solution Show. My name is Kafui Day. All the best.
My name is Harmony. I work with Comet Ghana Limited. I'm the CEO of Comet Ghana Limited. And then going to the greenhouse, the farmhouse, and the farmer. That's quite a very modern farmer, I would say. Very, very, very modern. These days, youth would actually say that when you have to go into farming, you have to get all dirty. You have to, you know, wear the boots, get into the farm, use your hands, and stuff like that. Farming has improved. You know, there are so many ways to farm these days, you know. And I like the way she was so insistent on adding value to business. And when it comes to adding value to business, it means a lot. Because since we work with startups, you know, adding value to business is so much, very important. There can be a service, if not well packaged, you know, will not actually reach the end consumer. It will not even be able to attract the people that need the services. You know, sometimes services need to speak to the consumer. It needs to attract the consumer. You know, so adding value for me was very important when I heard her talk about it.